Hey there, welcome back. My name is Katie if you're new to my channel, and this is Louisiana Cooking and Living, and today we're making crawfish etouffee. I don't know if you've ever had that before. If you have, let me know if you have and what you think about it. Some people also put shrimp in there, but we're gonna do crawfish and we're gonna double our recipe today. And let me grab something exciting. I have been starting my own little cookbook here. My girls have been asking me for different recipes, and what's funny is I typically will send them the link to a video and say, here it is, here's your video cookbook. But I have been writing my recipes in here and put them down. Sometimes I'm having to go back and watch the videos myself to write the recipe down. So I do have my crawfish etouffee recipe already written in my cookbook. And so I will be using it out of here today. If I can find the page. I haven't finished, obviously, and I don't have any like page tab things to show me my different sections. So I have my recipe written here. So this will be going by as my recipe here. And that's very exciting to me. I've been wanting to do this for years and just haven't had time. And so at night when it kind of slows down at work, I will start writing stuff down. And so we get busy, and we're gonna be doubling this recipe because we have several people coming over for dinner tonight. And so we're gonna double the recipe. Typically one recipe will call for 1 pound of crawfish tails. It's best if you use them out of a crawfish boil, but I don't have those today, and those are only for a certain few months of the year that you can have a crawfish boil. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add some crab boil seasoning to our crawfish etouffee to give it that crawfish boil taste. So let's get started chopping our veggies. All right, so I already had this parchment paper torn, so I'm not gonna waste it. I'm gonna use this to clean my onions on. Super exciting, using onions from your own garden. My bell peppers have not started producing yet, so I had to buy a bell pepper, and I have never gotten celery to grow, so of course we're having to buy the celery. But at least I have the onions from my garden. Whatever little bit I can get, I will take. My garlic didn't produce so well this year either. I'm not sure what the deal was with that. So we don't have homegrown garlic either, but we will be eating good no matter what. So I'm gonna get these onions peeled up. That's one thing I have found with these is their skins are pretty thin. So they're not as easy to peel. They are great onions. So I'm gonna get these peeled up, and then we'll get the rest of our veggies ready to chop. All right, so I am doubling this recipe like I said, and I have these 3 smallish onions. We're gonna have some bell pepper. Now, typically you'd use more of the veggies than I am using. My kids are kind of picky about eating chunks of vegetables, so I am not putting very much in here. So I'm just gonna use a veggie chopper to make all of this go faster. So that was our bell pepper. Usually I'd use 1 bell pepper per recipe, but we're just gonna use 1 total. We're gonna use some celery, and we were gonna use this. This thing is super neat for chopping a lot of vegetables. I just got it and I'm loving it. I love the smell of celery. All right, and that quickly we got all our veggies chopped. They're a good uniform size. And we will move over to the stovetop and start sauteing this. We're gonna be using we're gonna start with our roux first, and then we'll saute our veggies. So let's get that going. All right, so we have our 2 sticks of butter in here melting, and I'm adding, so that's a cup of butter total, and I'm adding a cup of flour. So a roux is equal parts of your fat and your flour. And we'll whisk this together, watching it, stirring it constantly. You don't want it to burn in any places. And we will cook this until we get to a peanut butter color. Okay, so here we are. It's about peanut butter color. This will continue cooking as we are sauteing our vegetables in here. I'm always afraid of cooking mine too long, so I err on the side of lighter. All right, we're gonna dump our veggies in here. We want to cook these for a good amount of time. You want them completely soft. This is the longest part of this, is actually cooking the roux and cooking the veggies. This is a very quick dish to get together other than that. And you can buy jarred roux to make that even go faster. All right, so to this, we're gonna add some garlic. So we're going to use probably the equivalent of a head of garlic. And of course I'm doubling this recipe. If you don't like garlic so much, use less. Now this is actually the same recipe I use to turn into crawfish pies. And I have made that video for you guys. It's one of my first videos I've made. So, not that I am the best at this at all, but I think I have grown a little bit since I started. So, I would say the video is a little, I'm not even sure the word to use. Elementary. How about we use that? And but I will leave that linked up here in the cards if you want to check out my crawfish pie recipe. Like I said, it's basically this. All right, we're going to saute these until they're soft, and then we're going to move on to add the crawfish and our seasonings. Okay, so our veggies are completely cooked here, and now we're going to add our crawfish in. So this is store-bought crawfish. Like I said, it's not really crawfish season, so I don't have fresh boiled crawfish. This is Louisiana crawfish tails. I ask that if you are buying them from the grocery store, please look for the Louisiana crawfish tails. Otherwise, they come from China. And even if they have a Louisiana sounding name, you have to check, because there's some that they sell here that are called like Boudreaux's tail meat, and they're from China. So you really have to look at that. All right, so we got those in there. I'm gonna add a splash of the crab oil to it to give us that crab oil flavor. Now we're gonna add chicken stock. We're gonna start with a quart and see where we're at. I think we're gonna need 2 quarts with this much roux, so we'll start with 1 quart and see where we're at. I do have some rice cooking on the side. We serve this on rice. I have actually seen it. My cousin got married over in Lafayette, and they had in their wedding reception like a, I guess like on a sides bar or an appetizer bar or something. I don't remember exactly. It's been quite a few years ago. They served crawfish etouffee with mashed potatoes, and that was really good too. But typically it's served on rice. Rice is a Louisiana crop. We have our fields of rice, and when they flood the rice field is where they grow the crawfish. So let's let's see, I think we are gonna need, I'm gonna go ahead and add half of this other quart for now. And as this thickens, we'll see what we need to add. Now we're gonna need plenty of salt. We're gonna need some Cajun seasoning. These tails are still kind of frozen. Gotta get those broken up. So I just had a video come out recently of my Cajun seasoning. We call it the seasoning here at my house. If somebody says, where's the seasoning? We know exactly what we're talking about. And I kind of briefly showed you how I make it and given you a link to my Etsy store where I sell this. If you're interested in it, I use pink Himalayan salt instead of iodized salt, which is much better for you. Doesn't increase your blood pressure. It is full of vitamins and minerals, and then also doesn't have any anti-caking agents in my seasoning, so it does clump up a little bit. You saw me kind of tap it to loosen it up. And then also it has less salt content than a typical, like a Tony Sashers you'd buy on the store shelf. So if you're interested, you can check out my Etsy store. I'll leave it linked in the description box along with all my equipment I use. It doesn't cost you anything extra to order something from one of my links. It just helps my channel. I also have a link to Redmond Real Salt with a discount code, and also the Harvest Right freeze dryers. I just recently became an affiliate with them. I talk about my freeze dryer quite a bit, and so I reached out to them and they gave me a discount code to pass on to you guys. So that's in the description box also. All right, we'll let this simmer for a minute and then we'll taste it and see if we need to adjust our seasonings. I haven't actually added any salt to this yet, so I'm gonna add some salt now. This is the Redmond Real Salt that I was just talking about. Give this a stir. Give it a little taste. You can add some more of the Cajun seasoning to it. I think it's got enough crawfish oil in it. Still trying to bring it up to a little simmer, because your roux or whatever your thickening agent is full potential is when it actually starts bubbling. So we'll bring this back up to a simmer. That's good. All right, we'll give this a taste test. All right, so here's our little bowl of rice. We'll get a ladle of this. So yummy. All right, I'm gonna get a little sprinkle of some green onions on top for some freshness, and we'll give this a taste test. Okay, so here we go. Oh, it's super hot. Let me just stop while I'm here. So I just recorded a video. I'm not sure what the lineup will be, but I made some cayenne hot sauce out of cayennes from the garden, and so I'm sure my husband will put this on his etouffee. I'm not a fan of hot sauce. I don't like that vinegar, but I'm sure he will use that. So let's give it a taste. It's so hot. Little crawfish tail. It's so good. I hope you give this recipe a try, and I hope you like it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. If you haven't subscribed, we ask that you subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye.